Wednesday evening from Cincinnati, the Reds took on the Los Angeles Dodgers and lost to them by a score of 4-2. In the bottom of the first inning, though, Chris Sable belted a two-run homer to left field, his 22nd home run in the season. RBIs 55 and 56 as Barry Larkin scored the home run, and the Reds led 2-0. But that was it for Cincinnati in this game. Funny play in the top of the second inning. Eddie Murray up against Scott Scudder. He flipped the bat, thinking that he walked, but it was a cold strike. In the top of the fourth inning with the game tied at 2, Mike Scioscia gave the Dodgers the lead as he lined a single to right field. This knocked in Murray. RBI 49 for Scioscia. His second RBI of the game. He had 4 hits in the game, and the Dodgers led 3-2 in the top of the fourth inning. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Dodgers starter Fernando Valenzuela received some fine defensive help from his third baseman Lenny Harris as he snagged Paul O'Neill's low line drive and got the easy 5-3 double play. This was the first of 4 fine defensive plays by Lenny Harris in the game. In the bottom of the fifth inning, he was able to snag Billy Hatch's low line drive as he made a diving catch, robbing him of an extra base hit. Nice play by Lenny Harris. In the bottom of the seventh inning, Harris did it once again. In the fifth inning, he dove to his right, and then here in the seventh, he dove to his left on Joe Oliver's ground ball in the hole. He got the forced play, but the Dodgers couldn't turn a double play. Still a nice play anyway. In the bottom of the seventh inning, funny play as Dodger bullpen catcher Todd Molding happened to be turning around and saw a ball hit right at him. Lucky play for the bullpen catcher. In the bottom of the ninth inning, one last play for Lenny Harris as he quickly snagged Chris Sable's line drive at him. Here's another look at that nice play by Lenny Harris. The Dodger third baseman made 4 nice defensive plays in the game. Later in the ninth, Fernando Valenzuela finished off his 4th complete game of the season when Paul O'Neill flew out to the wall in center field to end the game. The Dodgers won 4-2. Fernando got the win. He's 9-9. Scott Scott got the loss for the Reds. His record drops to 3-5.
Buck Rogers and the Montreal Expos in Pittsburgh Wednesday evening to take on the Pirates, trying to end a 6-game skid. But the Pirates would strike first. Bottom of the third, John Cangelosi was playing in Buffalo last night with this RBI single, scoring Wally Backman from third, and it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. The Expos would tie the score in the top of the 5th inning. That's when Spike Owens would single to right field, scoring on the play Andre Galarraga, RBI number 27 for Owen, and we are tied at 1. The Expos would take the lead in the top of the 6th inning. Davey Martinez on the ground out to shortstop, but Delino DeShields scores on the play, RBI number 25 for Martinez, Montreal 2-1. A nice outing for Dennis Martinez as he would strike out 5 through the first 6 innings. Here he gets shortstop Jay Bell looking in the 6th inning. Top of the 7th inning, and it will be Davey Martinez as he would put the Expos ahead 3-1 with this RBI single to center field, scoring Spike Owen on the play. A big 7th inning for the Expos as they would come up with 4 runs. Timmy Raines with 2 of them as Raines will double to right center field off of starter Doug Drabeck on the play. Delino DeShields and Davey Martinez will come in to score as the Expos go on top 5-1. Still in the 7th inning, and the next batter would be Timmy Wallach, and Wallach would come up with his 69th RBI on the season, a league-leading 33rd double. Timmy Raines stumbling around third will score 6-1 Montreal. And that would be plenty for Montreal pitcher Dennis Martinez as he goes the distance, picking up just his 2nd win since the All-Star break. As the Expos defeat Pittsburgh 6-2, Martinez now 8-8 on the year. Doug Drabeck dropping to 14-5. The New York Yankees in Seattle on Wednesday evening to take on the Mariners, and a fine defensive play early in this game by Roberto Kelly in center field. A deep smash off the bat of Edgar Martinez, sending Kelly to the wall, making a nice grab. A fine play. Over in the Seattle dugout, it's pitcher Brian Hansen with his own idea of a defensive work. That's some line drive repellent Seattle pitchers use. Bob Gehring would give the Yankees an early 1-0 lead, his 26th RBI. This single scoring Matt Noakes from second base in the top of the 2nd. A sac fly would make it 2-0 New York, but then Pete O'Brien would cut the lead to 2-1 with his 4th home run on the season, RBI number 21 off of Yankee starter Chuck Carey. But Mel Hall would get it back with his 11th home run, 40th RBI, a solo shot in the top of the 3rd to right field. But in the bottom of the frame, Tracy Jones would bring the Mariners back to a 3-3 tie. He will double just fair down the third base line, scoring on the play Harold Reynolds and Ken Griffey Jr. RBIs 23 and 24 for Jones. The Mariners would take their first lead of the game 2 innings later, bottom of the fifth, and it's Griffey with this double to right center field. Reynolds coming in to score on the play. 53rd RBI for Griffey as the Mariners lead it 4-3. But the Yankees weren't finished yet. Top of the seventh, and it's Oscar Azócar picking up his 12th RBI of the season, scoring Alvaro Espinoza. 4-4, Yankees tie it up. Next would be Jesse Barfield in a pitch-hitting position. This one, a two-run shot to left field, his 15th home run, 48th and 49th RBI, and the Yankees lead it 6-4. And that would be your final as Dave Righetti comes in to pitch the ninth. Here he gets Edgar Martinez looking with 2 on and 2 out in the ninth. Eric Plunk gets the victory. He is 5-2. Keith Comstock drops to 5-3. Righetti with his 24th save. Torborg and the Chicago White Sox in Kansas City looking for their 7th win in their last 8 games. But it was all Kansas City early. Danny Tartabull starting things off with this ground out to third, but Kevin Seitzer would score on the play as Kansas City took a 1-0 lead. Seitzer would provide some of his own offense in the second inning. Here he rips a double to deep left center field gap. Scoring on the play would be Frank White as he rips around third, and following White is Brian McRae. McRae beating the Ozzie Guillen throw to home, and it's 3-0 Royals. 2 batters later, and George Brett would put the Royals out in front 4-0 with this double into right center field. Kevin Seitzer scoring on the play on Brett's 50th RBI. The Royals would make it 5-0. This into the bottom of the third inning. Frank White with his 16th RBI. This single to left field scoring Pat Tabler. Tom Flash Gordon showing brilliance that he had last season with a fine performance. Came into the game just 6-8. Here he'll pick up his 4th strikeout of the game, striking out Sammy Sosa in the 5th inning. He had 7 on the game. He would go the distance, picking up his 2nd complete game of the season. The only run that Gordon would give up would come in the top of the 7th inning. That's when Carlton Fisk would hit his 12th of the season, 37th RBI, a solo shot to make it 5-1. But more importantly for Fisk, it was his 327th career home run as a catcher. That would tie him with Johnny Bench for all-time home runs for catchers as his son Casey looked on from the dugout. That was also Fisk's 186th home run as a Chicago White Sox member. That would tie him as the all-time leader with that club with Harold Baines. Royals outfielder Willie Wilson collecting the historic ball from the outfield and returning it to Fisk. 5-1 once again the final. Tom Gordon going to 7-8. Greg Hibbert taking the loss, dropping to 9-6.
From Toronto, the Blue Jays took on Tony Phillips and the Detroit Tigers in the bottom of the first inning. Phillips made a fine defensive play as he made a diving stop on Tony Fernandez's ground ball up the middle and threw him out 4-3. This saved the run as Mookie Wilson went from second to third. He would have scored on the play. Later in the first, the Tigers got out of the inning when John Shelby made a fine running catch on George Jabel's fly ball to short left field. Nice catch by the center fielder. In the bottom of the second inning, Toronto got on the board when Fred McGriff belted a solo home run to left field off Detroit starter Walt Terrell. It was McGriff's 25th home run and 62nd RBI, and the Blue Jays led 1-0. An error by Phillips made the score 2-0. Then still in the bottom of the second, Tony Fernandez grounded a single to right field that knocked in Pat Borders, and the Blue Jays led 3-0. It was Fernandez's 43rd RBI this season. And a funny play later on in the game on the foul ball by Alan Trammell down the first base line. This fan with a glove keeps it in play, but he blows it, and his buddy snagged the ball from him. And as you all know, there was no establishing shot on this package, but it's a beautiful shot of the Sky Dome all lit up during the top of the 4th inning. In the top of the 4th inning, Toronto starter David Wells struck out Darnell Coles to begin the inning. His 3rd strikeout of the game. He picked up the win in this game to raise the record to 8-3 this season. In the top of the 5th inning, though, his right fielder Kelly Gruber, who's normally a third baseman, misplayed a ball out in right field, and this allowed a run to score for Detroit. Chet with the fly ball at right field, and the ball bounced in just in front of Gruber, and Gary Ward scored all the way from first base, cutting the Toronto lead to 4-2 in the top of the 5th inning. And then the top of the 7th inning, a Morgana lookalike, Lulu, who advertised herself as being 95 Triple F, and onto the field and started kissing and hugging Toronto reliever Dwayne Ward. And when she was escorted off the field, she shook for the crowd. Some good, clean fun in Toronto. In the bottom of the 7th inning, back-to-back home runs for the Blue Jays capped the game. First, Glenn Allen Hill with the solo home run to left field off Paul Gibson, his 11th of the season, and the Blue Jays led 7-3 in the bottom of the 7th inning. The next batter was Pat Borders, and Borders picked up his third RBI of the game as he belted a solo home run in left field. It was his 13th home run. The Blue Jays led 8-3. That was the final. David Wells got the win. He's 8-3, and Walt Terrell got the loss. He's 0-1. From Anaheim in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Red Sox are on the verge of blowing a 4-run lead. With the score 6-4, Rob Murphy facing pinch hitter Dante Bichette, the first batter he's facing, and Bichette lined a single to center field, knocking in Brian Downing, and the score is now 6-5.
Gene Larkin and the Twins hosting Milwaukee on Wednesday night, and Larkin makes a great catch to rob Robin Yount of a hit as he leaps up against the baggie after turning around and makes the play. So Gene Larkin doesn't play right field too much these days. Spins around and makes a nice catch as you take one more look at it. As he leaps up there against that right field baggie. Bottom of the third inning after Greg Gagne had led off with a double. Nelson Liriano up against Mark Knudsen, and he'll ground this one over Paul Molitor's head at first base. Gagne comes around to score, RBI number 18 for Liriano, and the Twins led it 1-0. The next batter up to face Mark Knudsen would be Randy Bush, and for the second consecutive game, Randy Bush would go to the upper deck in right field as he hits this two-run shot. It's his sixth of the season with Nelson Liriano aboard. RBIs number 14 and 15, and it gives the Twins a 3-0 lead as he smacks that one way up there in the upper deck. And in the press box with Twins announcers Jim Cott and Ted Robinson are 6 representatives of the Midwest states for the Miss America pageant coming up. Scott Erickson pitched a great game for the Twins. He went 7 innings, allowing 5 hits, 2 walks, and striking out 4. Here in the top of the 5th inning, he makes Jim Gantner his third strikeout victim, so he gets him on the check swing K there. In the top of the 6th inning, Milwaukee breaks up Erickson's shutout bid with B.J. Surhoff on at third base and Billy Spires at third. Sheffield sends this one-out single off of Scott Erickson into center field. That scores Spires. RBI number 57 for Sheffield, and cut into Minnesota's lead at 3-1. But the final would be 4-2 Minnesota. Crazy play to end the game. Top of the 9th inning. Pinch hitter Greg Brock hits his infield single. Greg Gagne, Gary Sheffield scores, but some bad base running by Rob Deere as he is thrown out 3-4 to 5 to end it. And the final's 4-2 Minnesota. RBI number 41 for Brock there. Erickson gets the win. Knudsen takes the loss. He's now 8-6, and Rick Aguilera picks up his 24th save, and the Twins end a 4-game losing streak.
Wednesday afternoon from the Astrodome, Baseball Commissioner Fay Vincent on hand with Houston owner John McMillan as the Astros took on the Houston Astros. In the bottom of the 2nd inning, with the game tied at 1, Rafael Ramirez cut for a 2-run homer in left field of Giants starter Trevor Wilson. It was Ramirez's second home run. RBI 24 and 25. Craig Bishop scored a home run at 3-1 Houston. Then at the top of the 4th inning, Giants got back a run when Robbie Thompson belted a solo home run to left center field off Houston starter Mike Scott. It was Thompson's 11th home run and 43rd RBI, and the Houston lead was cut to 3-2 in the top of the 4th inning. In the bottom of the 4th inning, third base umpire Frank Pulley ejected Houston pitching coach Bob Cluck, who argued a balk call in the top of the 4th inning. In the bottom of the 6th inning, with the Giants leading 4-3, Craig Biggio, a ground ball that went through Robbie Thompson's legs for an error. Then Wilson scored in the play, and the game was tied at 4 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Later in the bottom of the 6th, Trevor Wilson struck out Carl Nichols for a second strikeout of the game. Wilson picked up the victory in this game because on top of the 8th inning, the Giants scored 3 runs. The big blow was a 2-run double by pinch hitter Greg Litton. This came off Houston reliever Juan Augusto as he doubled to the gap in right center field, knocking in Scott Gereltz and Brett Butler. RBIs 13 and 14 for Litton. And the Giants led 6-4 in the top of the